Alright, here we are filling a round of Modern. On the play, hand is fine. Bottom, we just want lands or a temple or something. We do have a turn 2 Displacer, and if we draw a land, we have turn 3 Thought-Knots here, which isn't bad. It's the usual hand where if our birds dies... I feel like my birds doesn't die as often as it used to in Modern. Like, a lot more kind of creature decks are not playing as much removal. Looks like we're against some sort of zoo deck. See what variety it is. Could just burn. It's not burn if he's lightning bolting my birds. Let's go with Eldrazi. Have a Dismember for his next play. We're going to need to draw lands here, obviously. Could be Jund, I suppose, too. Dark Confidants. Okay, this is a situation where having Dismember is really nice versus Path Exile, because you don't really want to Path Jund very often. Hopefully we can draw a land, though. If not, this is going to be trouble. If he's got Liliana, I don't know if we can come back from it. Though he might not have it. I mean, turn 2 Bob. Foothills. He's fetching, so he might have a 3-drop here. Is it her? I mean, I guess I can maybe get lucky off Matter or Shaper, but this is not looking good. I'm going to discard a Thought-Knot. By the time I get one Thought-Knot into play, he's very likely to be almost hellbent because of the Liliana, so I'll Displacer. Beats. Like I said, if our bird dies, this could be trouble. Just didn't redraw a land. I mean, it happens. We have 24 lands, 5 birds, and 4 stirrings, so sometimes it doesn't work out, and I think this is one of those times. Tarmogoyf, 3/4 Goyf. Alright, that's game. Pretty unexciting, but not really much we can do, you know. Would have been probably an interesting game had we curved out, but we did not. So against Jund, I think we only want World Breakers and EEs. EE's actually pretty strong against them. They have Ooze, Tarmogoyf, and Dark Confidant, which are all kind of annoying. Interesting, I wanted to see if these decks were playing Grimflayer, because if they are, I might actually board and Rest in Peace. I saw Jacob Wilson's deck was playing 4 Grimflayers and Lingering Souls that won the Mox. And since it has 4 Grimflayers and 4 Goyfs, with only 1 Abrupt Decay, I probably would bring in some number of Rest in Peace. Oh, not Rest in Peace. What? I don't know how that happened, but we went the World Breaker. I'm not in love with Spellskites. I just don't think it does enough. But especially on the play, like they have... Well, I mean, it could protect some of my other creatures from removal. I think we're going to take out Birds. I think that it's a grindy matchup, and Birds is just bad. Like, as we saw as I saw against Blue, White, Red, like, usually just... If they can kill it if they want to, or they can let you have it and just kill more of your threats, and then you end up with a card that doesn't do anything. So we're gonna go ahead and go like this, I think. It's also possible I should cut Noble Hierarch too. Maybe Spellskite's better, but I think having a fast draw is gonna win the game sometimes. Like, Jund is not gonna be able to beat early Reality Smashers and Drowners that often, so I think that it's nice to keep in some number of mana guys. Interesting hand here. No colorless source, but we have a Stirrings. We have a Path for his first play. Just no colorless source. If we don't hit a temple off the Stirrings, this hand isn't very good. So I think we're just going to maul. Because, like, what do we want? We want to hit specifically a temple or a colorless land? Maybe this hand's supposed to be a keep. I'm really unsure. I think we're going to mulligan. I think we want to be a bit fast against him. I want to have the temple so I can cast things underneath his removal. I want to get him low and be in a position where he's not beating me down with a Dark Confidant or a Tarmogoyf. I'm going to go ahead and keep. Probably just going to shuffle no matter what. Unless, if it was a temple, we wouldn't shuffle. I think that's the only card that we wouldn't choose to shuffle on. But we're going to go ahead and get a green-white duel, shock ourselves, play the Stirrings. Hope to hit Temple. We do. All right. We're sort of doing it. Eldrazi Winter. Now, I mean, if he does Inquisition us, our hand is a bit worse, but Inquisition or Bolt, so it's pretty likely the Displacer isn't really going to do much. But if he has, like, Raging Ravine Pass, he might just be dead. But Inquisition or Bolt, both will keep him in the game. Turn 1 fetch, which means he's going to have a Grim Lavamancer, I guess. Alright, I don't really care about that. Though it does let him potentially use a Bolt to kill Reality Smasher, or like he can block the Displacer before damage, deal 2 to it. Though I guess I can just blink then, so he actually can't do that, assuming I have mana open. I will play the Smasher though, so he will be able to do that. If he just passes, I might not even offer up that trade. It might not be worth it. Though I'm assuming he's going to cast something here. An Ooze. Okay. So we're just going to start raining Smashers on him. I was going to say we could be susceptible to a Damnation, but now with Smasher number 3, I think that's likely going to not be the case. Okay, looks like he's got a Liliana. But I think this is a good trade for me. I'm trading 3 for 2. Like, he's going to play Liliana. I'm going to kill both of his guys with just my Displacer, which wasn't really doing much anyway. I can play the Smasher as attack face. At this point, I'm not afraid of the Liliana. Like, I have double Smasher. He's very likely to have to take damage at some point, which means even if he does have, like, Liliana into Terminate or something, it's still going to be... he's still going to die, excuse me. It's possible he just did... I mean... I'm assuming he has a Liliana because he made that block, though it's possible that he just needed to make that block. Like, if he goes to 8, I untap with the Displacer, he's just dead on board, right? Because I can blink both of his guys. But yeah, it looks like he does have the fetch, so I think even if he does have Liliana, he's screwed here. It's a Pulse, which is even worse for him. Because he's got to discard a card, and then he doesn't have a Liliana left over. He discards... I believe a Verdant Catacombs. I think I'm going to play out a land. I don't think there's any reason to. I guess I could draw a 2-drop next turn. I do have Spellskites in my deck, so I will actually play the Windswept Heath. Also gets me to thin. Okay, so we do the Liliana, but he's just dead. 3 Smashers is pretty good starting on turn 3. I'm sure he's not going to be pleased just to see Smasher number 3. Oh! Almost attacked the wrong thing there. That would have been tragic, and we're up game 2. So now let's go to game 3. I don't think anything changes on the draw. Like, I still don't really like birds. Worldbreaker might be worse than Spellskite on the draw, just because it could be too slow. Though Worldbreaker is so hard for them to beat, because they can't, unless they Kalitas it, they can't exile it. And it just is a recurring threat. Like, it blocks all their creatures, blows up manlands, potentially. Though Spellskite, well, Spellskite could help me against Lightning Bolt draws, I suppose. That's the thing about Jund is, like, you actually have a pretty good late game against them. You're really worried about them going, like, Dark Confidant Tarmogoyf into Liliana and just beating you down and removing your threats efficiently. Maybe Spellskite is fine. Can buy me some time. Maybe I'll cut Displacer on the draw. I actually kind of like that. Like, Displacer just dies to Bolt. You know, it's going to die if he's got, like, Anger as well, which he might have sided in. So I actually like swapping out one of those for one Spellskite, just to make my shorten my mana base a little bit and give me... It's obviously a worse late game top deck, but it's just going to make my deck a little bit smoother, and Spellskite can protect my Smashers and my Thought-Knots, which I think is going to be more important than just playing a 3/3. We're going to keep this. We have turn 1 Noble, And we're living the hope noble doesn't die life, as usual. He just went land pass. I could start off with the stirrings to see if I hit something. No, that's bad. I'm just going to play that. I could hit the temple. If I hit the temple, it's a better play. If he wants to bolt this, it's fine. He doesn't have a bolt for the Matter Shaper. And if he doesn't have a bolt, that's actually really nice for me, because I get underneath him. I get to play the Matter Shaper next turn. I'm not as afraid of Liliana at that point. He's got a Dark Confidant. Interesting. So I think I'm gonna... Well, if I path that, I might lose to a Kalidas, which is kind of trouble. I could just play Matter Shaper, let him flip one card. I know he doesn't have a bolt in his hand. It's pretty good against Liliana if I play the Matter Shaper, because he can't really play it effectively because I can just kill it afterwards. I don't want him to get free cards on his Mull to 6, though. I suppose we just start off with Stirrings. Yeah, start off with Stirrings. Temple. Could take Matter Shaper. I'm just going to take the Temple, though. I like having the extra mana. For my... I can play Thought on next turn if he kills the Noble Hierarch. And I can also play the Drowner earlier. I could play the Hallowed Fountain tapped, actually. I could still play the Matter Shaper this turn. I just don't love giving him a land. Like... It's gonna squeeze him this next. Like if I path this and he goes Liliana Edict you, I'm playing Thought on the next turn. I can't even. I guess the Dark Confidant's off the board. Yeah, let's play Matter Shaper. It's usually correct to never let the Bob untap, because like if he just Thought seizes me, he can pull the path out of my hand. But I think this is a scenario where I like developing my board a bit. I'll give him a free card. Like I think that I'm going to be able to put him under a ton of pressure, because I can play Thought Knot and Path next turn, and pretty much trading mana very well, because I'm only giving him, instead of giving him like 4 mana and then 5 mana this turn, I'm going to give him just 5 mana on his 4th turn, and I can also mitigate his hand, and he does have the Liliana, so actually this play is worked out very well. So the question is, do I sacrifice the Shaper or the Noble? Wow, this play worked out so well for me. The Noble doesn't really do much, though I might not get the 6 mana. The Reshaper replaces itself, so I think I should just sack the Reshaper. He's going to leave the Dark Confidant back either way. I'm going to have to path it. So yeah, I sack the Reshaper, because if I sack the Noble Hierarch, I can't path and Thought Knot, right? And we could also just spike a land or something good. Ooh, really wish that was, if that was a white land, that would have been sick, actually. Oh, he's just firing in with that. That's interesting. Let's look at his hand. Well, if he rips Thoughtseize, that's really awkward. But I think I do want to path the Dark Confidant. Because if I don't, like if I play Drowner, he can just flip Thoughtseize off of it, or Inquisition, take my path, kill my Drowner, then I'm kind of not in great shape. Kitchen Finks are another Bob. Neither of them are very good. If I take the Kitchen Finks, then if he draws a 2-drop, he can go like Terminate and Bob. I think I just take his other Bob. I think I can slog through the Finks. I don't think it really does much. I think I'm beating both. Pretty likely. We attack Liliana for 1 here. And gonna play, I guess, the Temple Garden, because I have 2 Pain lands. And path this. And right now, I actually don't even lose to a Kalidas. Like, he's got no removal in his hand. Yeah, it's possible leaving the Bob is better. Because I didn't account for the path land. Like, he's gonna play the Finks. It's gonna buy him a ton of time, but like, what is he even drawing to? I guess Damnation. Well, there's my out to Damnation, I guess. I could tap it down with the Drowner, but I don't really love that. I'm not even convinced he's going to chump. He's probably going to take the first 5. Can save the World Breaker in case he's got a man land or something. Just play the Drowner. Though, World Breaker is better against Damnation, which I think might be his only out. So I'm actually just going to play it. Oh, I have to play this too. Maybe I should exile a Greenland, actually, because of Scavenging Ooze. But I don't think he can win now. Like, Damnation doesn't... I guess he does get to draw a card off Damnation, so he could, like, Damnation and draw into a Kalitas. But yeah, you can kind of see, like, if you just get to do your thing, Jund has such a problem dealing with it.